Hello, welcome back to my channel. I'm going to be showing you a few different simple hairstyles that I've been doing recently now that I finally pulled the trigger and cut myself bangs. They're haphazard, but I really like them and I'm glad that I cut them. So the first thing is, for any of these, I do have to separate my bangs. I am going to be using like clips, scrunchies, a bigger scrunchie that's like a stretched out headband, but I just use it as like one that separates like half of my hair. So I'm going to separate my bangs with like this small little clip. I know it's missing like so many teeth, but as you can see, I have a lot of hair. So me like messing up a clip or like breaking up the little teeth makes sense. So for this first style, what I'm going to do is I'm going to start by splitting my hair in half, kind of sort of down the middle, but it doesn't really matter if it's like perfectly in half. Then I'm going to take my water spray bottle, my leave-in conditioner, which is the Carol's Daughter Goddess Strength and Length leave-in, the Sexy Hair Curling Cream. This is really good, along with the Sexy Hair, what is this? I think it's like their gel. Oh gosh, I don't see the name on this. Support styling cream gel, whatever. Anyway, and then I'm gonna go ahead and split off one, like since they're both in half, right, I'm gonna take like one side and I'm gonna take like the first like fourth, kind of like right behind my ear, like a good line there, and then the back section I'm gonna take that and just clip that to the back of my head because we're not focused on that right now. And then for the first half there, I'm gonna like spray a bunch of water in it, and I mean like a bunch. I'm not showing you how much water I'm putting in it, but like basically it's wet. Then I'm going to start by putting in leave-in conditioner, and I like to do like the prayer hands method with like getting product in there, especially since this is a smaller section. That hair in the back, I just went ahead and added that to the back section because it didn't seem to fit in the front, and it doesn't matter. So just going to continue putting product in, and then with all of these, though I'm using like certain products and I'm showing you what I'm using, you don't really have to use the exact same products. Just like things that kind of do the same thing. You should always be using like a leave-in conditioner, some form of like a styler, and something to set everything. You can use a gel or a mousse. Most days I use a mousse, but I wanted to use a gel because I don't know, I feel like gels have a lot more hold. This one had like a stronger hold, and sometimes it can leave my hair a bit more on the crunchy side, which I kind of like because it means that the style actually lasts longer on me. Anyway, so now that I've got all the products in, I'm going to take that little piece or front section and I'm going to like start putting it in the position where I want it to go, and I'm going to take a rubber band and kind of just wrap that around as if it's like a tiny little pigtail. Then I'm going to split that in half and then squish it down to tighten it, and then I'm going to take all of that hair in that little pigtail and I'm going to swirl it around and around and around some more until it basically forms that bun shape. And once it gets to the end, I'm then going to take a bobby pin and just stick that in place. Now for the back section of my hair, I'm going to now wet all of that with a ton of water and like kind of like finger detangle through and just kind of get it like ready to go, I guess. Lots of water. I probably put more water here than I'm showing you. And then I'm just going to put on like leave-in conditioner and styling stuff and like the same gel and everything in this back section as well. And I'm kind of messily doing this because I don't know, I prefer like sometimes for my hair to be a lot bigger and messier than like being super defined. It depends upon the style though, but with this one it's perfectly fine. I think if like the back looks kind of messy, so it's okay if I'm not like getting every single strand coated in product, because it's not really the point. The point is mostly like the little buns in the front and like my bangs, but we'll deal with those later. So now onto my bangs. I'm going to then go ahead and put the exact same products into the front part of my hair now that I've done like the back, and then just pretty much repeated the same process on the other side. And then once I finish putting all the products in, I'm gonna kind of like zhuzh around my bangs. I don't know how else to describe it exactly, but it's like I just kind of position them in a way that I want them to be. And it just kind of depends upon each style. Sometimes I do like finger coil my bangs, or like we'll take some of the top parts and finger coil them. It really just depends. But for this one, I feel like all of my little hairs were cute, so it didn't need any finger coils or anything. So then I'm just kind of fluffing out the back of my hair, and there we go. That is the first style. Moving on to the second style. We're going to basically use all of like the same sort of baseline for products. Like, as I mentioned before, you should always have like your leave-in styler and whatever you're using to set it. But moving on from that first one, the only difference between this one and the first one is the fact that instead of just doing like 2 little small buns, I'm going to do 1 bun with the same amount of hair. Like those same sections of hair, I'm then just going to put them together on the top of my head, making sure to not accidentally include my bangs. And I'm going to do the same process that I did do with the little mini buns, but I'm going to just do it with 1. And now this may sound like this would be a ton of hair. It's not. This is a hairstyle that I was not able to do before I cut bangs, and it's because I felt like a hairstyle like this, where like you take the front part of your hair and put it into a little bun, just made my forehead look ginormous. Not like I do have a big forehead, but I don't know, I just feel like all that hairline exposed, I felt like it just made me look like Jimmy Neutron out here. Like my forehead was huge. But now that I have bangs, it kind of eats up all of my forehead, so I feel like I can do this style, which is great, because I actually really like this. So again, kind of putting it up into a little pigtail bun thing, squishing it down and wrapping it around, and then securing it with a bobby pin. And that is the second style. There we go. That's cute. It's very cute. I like this style a lot. Now, from that style, we're going to go on to the third one, and at this point, we've got to struggle to find that bobby pin. I don't know about y'all, but that always happens to me, where I literally will lose a bobby pin, even if I just put it in there. So we're going to go ahead and take out that scrunchie we like just put in, and then split our hair kind of back, sort it down the middle, and, oh my god, separate my hair in half. Again, you'll probably notice I do this a lot with all of my hairstyles. Because of how much hair I have, I think it's a lot easier to manage to just split my hair into like quadrants, depending upon what I'm trying to do to it. In this case, a lot of these, it's just, I'm able to just kind of do it in like halves, because I'm not doing anything like super, like, I don't know, complicated. But in this case, what I'm going to do is spray some more water in it to kind of get it ready. I'm going to add more gel, but I'm not adding gel to like the entire length of my entire hair. I'm mostly going to focus it near the roots, because what we're doing is we're going to be like slicking the hair down. And then I'm going to take like a front piece of my hair. Now, I'm terrible at this because I could not see myself as I was filming this, so I am not in frame at all. But basically what I'm doing is I'm taking that front piece and rolling it and tucking it under and continuing down. Think kind of like a plait twist, but instead of it being like a twist, I'm literally just like rolling and tucking my hair underneath itself. And then once I get to like the nape of my neck, I'm then going to go ahead and tie that half of my hair into a very low little pigtail. And there we go. Boom, boom, boom. But I'm going to show you again on the other side, because I wasn't really in frame for like the other side. So you'll kind of see it a little bit better for like what I'm talking about when I say like rolling and tucking. So just taking like that front part, and then you see like my wrist movement where I'm like pushing it in and like going all the way down the line. This is a lot easier if you can't like braid your hair, like plait it down like to your scalp or anything. I've only recently gotten the hang of that, so I find doing this is a lot easier. Like you can easily substitute like the rolling and twisting method to like a braid or like an actual like plait twist. I just prefer this because it's a lot faster and easier and it's simpler, but it still looks really cute. So then we just kind of use those in the back and fluff them up, and kind of same with like my bangs. I'm gonna like wet them again, because at this point they've gotten kind of like drier, so now I just want to kind of push them back down down. I'm still kind of training my bangs to sit the way that I want them to. Because like for a really long time I didn't really have bangs. I just had like kind of a side bang, but not really. And then there we go. That is the third style. See, you kind of see like that roll and twist method, and it just looks cute. And I like the little pigtails at the back. I think it's also really simple. Also, looking at the style, I feel like it would be so great with a bandana. It gives me cottagecore vibes. So now moving on to the fourth style, we're gonna go ahead and take these pigtails out. So we're gonna start by just undoing that scrunchie. I cut most of that out because it's painful to take that out. Anyway, so putting more water into my hair. And now what I'm actually going to do is, this style is kind of just doing like space buns, but with bangs. So it's different. So what I'm going to do is kind of like scoop my hair to the top of my head. And once I get it into like a position on the top of my head that I want it to be, I'm going to go ahead and start wrapping a scrunchie around that too. And instead of, like, I'll do it like 2 times through, and then on that third time, I don't fully pull my hair all the way through. I just kind of trap like the ends or so outside of it. And that's what gives the illusion of the fact that like my little buns are huge, because they're really not. If I didn't have curly hair, I feel like my hair would not be that thick looking at all. So I just kind of like trap it in there and then pull it out, so that way it makes it look bigger and more voluminous and stuff. And I kind of just go back over my bangs again and move pieces around, readjust them, shake them up, make them kind of messier looking, because the actual buns themselves look kind of messy. Oh yeah, I don't know if you've noticed how many times I've done peace signs in this video. Drinking game. Take a drink every time I did peace signs. Of water. Of water. And so that's the 5th style, I want to say. And if you enjoyed that video, please do like and subscribe, and follow me down on all of my socials linked below. My Instagram, TikTok will also be linked in the description bar as well. And I hope to see you soon somewhere on the internet, and I hope you have a great rest of your day. And in the meantime, between time, take care.